Every city has its landmarks. For Kiev, it is Independence Square, also known as the Maidan. The history of Kiev's main square is very much a reflection of the history of Ukraine. One of Maidan's most famous buildings is Trade Union House. In 1851, a gentry assembly house was erected here. It survived the two world wars and the 1917 revolution. It was destroyed and then rebuilt several times. In 1976, renovation of the then October Revolution Square started, culminating in the erection of Trade Union House. Its construction was completed in 1980. The building itself and its legendary element, the clock tower, became one of Kiev's landmarks. Trade Union House also served as a community center. For 25 years, it played host to the tripartite dialogue among trade unions, government and employers. It also served as a venue for many congresses, conferences and roundtables. In 2004, Trade Union House turned over a new leaf. During the Orange Revolution, the protesters set up their headquarters there. During the 2014 Revolution of Dignity, Trade Union House once more became the center of public protests. The Trade Unions Federation provided space to set up a warming point, a canteen and a hospital for the protesters. On the night of February the 19th, 2014, during an assault by the police, the building caught fire. It was only extinguished 2 days later. Most premises burned out. The beams between the 4th and 5th stories partially lost their supporting capacity. The building's foundations, however, were not seriously damaged. Some of the premises were left completely unscathed by the fire. An expert examination was necessary to finally decide the fate of the building. In order to restore the building, a dedicated charity for the rehabilitation of Trade Union House was founded on March the 27th, 2014. Its activities are organized and overseen by a supervisory council. In the summer of 2014, once permitted by the prosecution authorities upon completion of an investigation into the mass killings on Maidan, work started to clean up the aftermath of the fire. During this period, the heating systems were repaired and the boiler room was rehabilitated. The building was cleared of large-sized debris. Then work started to clean up the premises. Major counter-emergency and reinforcing works were carried out. In October 2014, rehabilitation of the building started. The window frames and doorways were boarded up to protect the premises from snow, rain and wind. Emergency scaffoldings were erected, the plates and joints of the beams were exposed for further examination. Experts started their work on site to examine the building's supporting elements and also conduct geological and hydrogeological surveys. Their job was to assess the damage and scope of rehabilitation. The results of their work were made public during a press conference in December 2014. The experts' 1,000-page report made two principal conclusions: that the structure was in satisfactory condition, and so were its major constituent elements, and that the building was in need of rehabilitation. Rehabilitation was to be conducted as soon as possible for public safety reasons on and around Maidan. The report also argued that it would be cheaper to rehabilitate the existing building than to build a new one. Unfortunately, the government has dissociated itself from the effort to save the building. The whole rehabilitation initiative is being funded solely by the Rehabilitation of Trade Union House charity and the Amenities Department of the Trade Unions Federation of Ukraine. As of February 1st, 2015, the charity raised a total of 3,340,000 hryvnias. Of this amount, 2,700,000 hryvnias has been spent. Most of this money was spent on counter-emergency works and feasibility research. The total budget for the rehabilitation of Trade Union House as of the first half of 2014 was estimated to be in excess of 60 million hryvnias. These funds would finance 2 phases of rehabilitation. By December 2014, all premises had been cleared of rubbish and debris, which made it possible to commence Phase 1 of the rehabilitation project, consisting in reinforcing works. It is scheduled to be completed by March 2015. Phase 2 – Facade and interior work using state-of-the-art construction materials. The plan is to build an observation deck on the clock tower. Another idea being discussed is to set up a museum dedicated to the Revolution of Dignity. All works would have been completed by August 2016, the 25th anniversary of Ukraine's independence. A rehabilitation of Trade Union House on Kiev's Independence Square is highly symbolical and important. It will serve to demonstrate that Ukraine continues to uphold the values of the Revolution of Dignity as it enters a new phase of national development.